Today I'm here with Bill from Pillar to Post, and he is going to tell us all about home inspections. Bill, so for anybody who's not gone through a home inspection before, what does one entail?
So a home inspection is a visual walkthrough of the property, trying to give the potential new homeowners a well-informed view of the potential property that they're going to be purchasing, or somebody putting it up for sale, what potential pitfalls that could potentially come to impact the sellability of the home, to prevent any last minute deal breakers.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think a lot of people think of a home inspection is the only time that you're ever doing a home inspection is when you're buying a house. Really, I mean, as a seller, I think it's great to do home inspection before you go to market. Like you said, you're kind of mitigating surprises for yourself and being prepared and prepped for the market.
Another point that a lot of people don't consider is new homes. Most new construction comes with a year homeowner's warranty. We actually offer a service around the 11th month home warranty prepared. Walk through and just see it with a different set of eyes to make sure that you're getting everything out of the potential end of the warranty period that you possibly can. Make sure that there's value in, hey, somebody's found something, or there's something not quite right that you didn't see or didn't know. That's another potential thing to make sure that you gain the value out of.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I do, in my experience in new construction, it's kind of like a 50-50. If somebody buying new construction feels like they should have a home inspection done, I think people should always have a home inspection done, even with new construction. Is there like a timeline that you would say, once somebody's living in a house, how often do you feel like it would make sense to have your home kind of comprehensively checked over?
It depends.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think you need to do a full home inspection annually. For me, as somebody getting paid doing it, yeah, I'd love that, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I think if you've done a home inspection upon purchase, keep and retain the inspection report. Notice what was noted and just continually monitor. But definitely get your home around a regular maintenance cycle. A lot of home inspectors offer, a maintenance guideline or a checklist, or you can go online. ChatGPT is your friend, right? You can get a lot of information from a lot of different sources these days. Even if you're not handy, you can get onto do these things regularly. And even if you're not incredibly due diligent on it, some kind of periodics. I'm a big maintenance person. I've been in the trades for a long time. Some kind of routine. Furnace filters, kind of a pet peeve. Make sure you keep up on them, especially as you change the winters, especially in Wisconsin, because if you have a nice dirty one coming into the winter, you're going to stress your system out. You're going to put wear life on your system faster, as well as have bad dirty air in the house. It's just not good for you or it. It's a very simple thing. Know how to change your filters.
Yeah.
Or know how you have to turn it off in order to change your filters. Know what kind of systems you have. These are all things that you can gain from a home inspection.
Sure.
But owner's manuals, things of that nature. I encourage everybody to know your systems and know how to interact with them. Think about the value of your home. Most people, it's the largest purchase they're ever going to make.
Absolutely.
It's the biggest asset you will probably ever have. And if you move around a lot, I did as a kid, a lot of military, we bounced around a lot, and sometimes you lose a little, sometimes you gain a lot, right? But if you don't take care of it, it doesn't take care of you, right? The biggest thing I see as a home inspector that just scares me is roof conditions. A lot of people don't get up on the roof, never been on a roof, don't know the difference between architectural shingles or 3-tab, or what granular loss is, or how long the stuff lasts. But if you neglect your roof, it's the leading way for moisture penetration to get into your house, destroy your roof, create structural issues, introduce moisture, mold. It's just no bueno, right?
Yeah.
It is the thing it's your first line of defense, and it is your most surface area contact with rain, snow, everything. It is the thing that if you're not going to do anything, have that looked at by professionals.
Okay.
If you're not confident in your capabilities to understand it, that is something I would have checked out on some kind of periodics.
Okay.
Every couple, 3-5 years, get a baseline, especially the home inspection. It's a very hard thing to predict and exact. Hey, it'll last 2.5 years. That's not what you're going to get. You're going to get hey, this type of stuff usually lasts 10 to 20 years. Kind of gauging where you're at here. You're like mid to end life, make a plan.
We're also running into roofs over 20 years sometimes can't be insured, or you have to find the right company that will issue the more expensive policy that's going to take on the risk or concern of having an aging roof. So yeah, I would say that's like one of the biggest things that comes up when, you always try to get ahead of that stuff during the showing process to be like, what's the age of the roof? Ideally, in this market right now, we can find a lot of that information out. We can have a lot of those conversations. But at the end of the day, if you get up there and it's like, heads up, this is pretty rough, it's a huge point for people to have to
absolutely
focus on.
Here in Wisconsin, we actually call, there's the structure in the law where we actually have to call it out as anything that impacts the safety or a major impact to the value of the home. We have to clearly call it out as a defect so that home purchasers know exactly what the category is. Other things are maintenance or monitor, just so that as a purchaser, you're clearly informed as to what's going on.
Okay, Bill, can you tell us what are some of the most common issues that you see during a home inspection?
Okay, it kind of goes by the age of the home, right? GFCI outlets, which stands for ground fault circuit interrupter, and basically it's just a safety function for an electrical outlet or receptacle that is near water. The older the home, the less likely it's going to be in the kitchens. And we, as home inspectors, will always say, hey, that's a defect because it's safety, and you should look into doing this. Given the age of the home, it's not something you have to do, but it is a common call. Or the outlet is non-functional because it's old enough and it is GFCI, it should be replaced. But those are typically some commonality ones, especially outside outlets that the cover's been open, someone's gotten into it, it has made the receptacle defective.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another common one is roof drainage. Simple thing, your gutters, your downspouts, if the downspout and the drain is within 6 feet of the foundation of the home, it has a tendency to kind of drain backwards or pool too close to the foundation where it could potentially cause damage. You always want to make sure that you're at least 6 feet away from the foundation and draining away from the home, just to make sure you're keeping as much opportunity for moisture to not be next to the foundation to prevent any potential hydrostatic pressure or ice buildup in the winter or any such stuff like that, because moisture in the foundation, again, concentrations of it just make more probability of problems.
Definitely, that makes sense. So Bill, I think sometimes buyers get overwhelmed seeing items listed in a home inspection report, and not everything is necessarily a deal breaker. What advice would you have for somebody who's feeling overwhelmed by the report?
One thing I encourage is I try to make myself available. Lean into the inspector and their experiences, as well as your realtor. Anybody that's been doing this for a period of time or has experience in the trades can more than likely walk you through scenarios that they've seen in their experience to, oh yes, this is definitely a let's talk about it, or a couple $100 and this is done.
Yeah, red flags versus no big deal type
Exactly.
of items, for sure. Yeah. I think that's a really good point, and that's part of the process for somebody buying is there's a surprising amount of people involved in a real estate transaction to help hold somebody's hand through that. And to your point, just like you being available for like a follow-up phone call or email or text or whatever somebody's preferred, mode of communication is, once the home inspection's done, you don't just disappear and say, hey, here's your report, have a nice life. If they have follow-up questions on the severity of something or what you might recommend, I know that you're available for people, which is great.
Your home inspector shouldn't be a one and done, and they're not, oh, here's your report, okay, go
And
away,
not
right?
accessible, yeah.
Yeah, they should be an accessible resource for you through it. At least in Pillar to Post, your report is digitally stored for the length of the life of Pillar to Post. It's accessible to you, and we're always available for questions, even if, hey, we're going to expand our home and do some stuff and you have questions about this, that, and the other. If it can relate and comply, we're always here to help.
Bill, what's one red flag that really concerns you during an inspection?
Okay. It's kind of some of the hidden stuff. Infrared scanning of the electrical system. Actually doing a variation in temperature. And if you do it after the system has been under load for a while, say you run the dryer, and if there's an electric stovetop, you have them all turned on for a bit, you're trying to pull a lot of energy into it. You do the thermal scan and you find a spot that is well over 150 degrees. That is a major red flag that breaker in that electrical system has a potential failure mode, especially if it's the main disconnect or if you have any of the heat variations in the wiring going up.
Do you recommend that based on like age of home, or is it just a good idea to do across the board?
I think it's a good thing to do across the board.
Okay.
Even from, say you have a basement in an area, even if you can't see water staining, because a lot of people will do a fresh coat of paint, and if there is any staining, it can be covered up. Thermal scanning can actually detect variations in moisture potential, because this area would be super cool compared to this one.
Okay.
It's not 100%, but it's another thing to kind of look
just
inward a little
keep
bit.
An eye on.
Yeah.
Bill, what's one tip for sellers before a home inspector arrives?
I would say don't try to hide anything. If the attic entrance is in a closet, try to declutter that space to give them at least the opportunity to put a ladder up and gain access so they can see places.
It could be innocent, right? Like they didn't know that they should have certain things cleared, and then you get there and it's like, well, we can't access this. It can just raise concerning feelings for a buyer, like, are they doing this on purpose? A real estate transaction induces a lot of anxiety for people.
Absolutely.
It's a natural thing. It's a huge purchase. And so as a seller, like you said, just making it as transparent as humanly possible is the best for everybody who's involved in that. Okay, so Bill, for people who are looking at booking a home inspection, obviously clients who work with me, you and I have a great working relationship. I will coordinate that for anybody who is getting a home inspection with you. For folks who are not working with me, other agents, other people watching this, maybe they're not going through a transaction and they just want to have a home inspection done after kind of talking about some of what goes into that. How should somebody reach out to you to get one booked?
The easiest way is to look us up online at pillartopost.com. Book online. It gives the numbers you can call, or again, consult your realtor. Most folks that work with us have our direct lines, and we can be in contact that way. That's pretty much it.
Great, good.
I forgot to record my formal thank you to Bill to wrap up. So that's everything that we have for you guys today. Enjoy this goofy outro, and thanks so much for watching.